Everything I'm about to say about the Indiana Republican Party, I believe to be true and accurate. Everything I'm about to say about Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is true and accurate. And to the delegates who want to argue this with me, I'm going to argue back. You have an opportunity to make changes, and you need to. In Secretary of State and in Lieutenant Governor, you deserve better. I sure as hell deserve better. We deserve better. But don't ever get it twisted. Everything that the Republican Party in Indiana has to offer is better than everything the Democratic Party in Indiana has to offer. All the opportunity the Indiana Democrats have, and they refuse to take it because they don't talk about anything that Hoosiers are talking about. They talk about a national playbook that has shown itself to lose time and time again. Tony Katz, great to be with you, 93 WIBC. Good morning. The national playbook is what Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is playing with. If you are interested in redistricting, what you will be doing is finding a way to persuade members of the state Senate to vote your way. You want redistricting, right? Well, then what's your plan to get there? You have some senators who disagree. How do you persuade them? How do you convince them? Well, you don't do it by crap posting on Twitter. Doesn't work, which is why I have said of these so-called influencers, cut out the nonsense. You're not helping. Make the case. Make a better argument. You want to direct people to call a state senator? Go right ahead. You want to swat a state senator? You're nuts. And for the record, we've now had 2 swattings of state senators. We still don't know who did it. I have no idea who these people are. Yet I have Democrats saying, oh, we know who did it. You don't know anything yet. When you know, you can say something. When you don't know, you just sound like schmucks. But again, you don't care about data. The national playbook has no interest in data from the Democratic Party. We see you, we know what you are, and it's why you lose time and time and time again. You don't seem to care. You still give us people like Destiny Wells and Jocelyn Vare. They put this woman Vare in front of Recenter, Indiana. The woman's a virulent leftist. What are you talking about? Recenter. Her center is so far to the left, you would think you were on the Titanic mid-sink. Micah Beckwith puts out a post. From here on out, whenever I introduce myself, whether it's to one person or 1,000, I'm going to say, I'm the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Indiana and the President of the weak Indiana Senate. He continues, because let's call it what it is. Not showing up to vote is weakness. Refusing to take a public stand is weakness. Hiding behind closed doors while Hoosiers demand accountability is weakness. And right now, the Senate is proving just how weak it can be. Indiana deserves better. Hoosiers deserve leaders who show up, stand tall, and do their job. Enough is enough. Well, bravo on getting yourself some clicks, Lieutenant Governor. But you didn't change a mind. This is what all your time on the pulpit has taught you? This is how you get people to your cause? Crap posting on Twitter? Rather, I would believe the argument should be we should redistrict, and I am speaking to senators every day to convince them of the value of this moment. We should take it, and we should be bold. You're not an influencer, except you play one on our dime. You play one on the taxpayer's salary. You don't play a lieutenant governor. You don't show any level of leadership, none. I declared months ago your political career over. You got very angry. I can understand that. You called me arrogant. Again, watch how little I care. But in the conversation of who is acting like a leader and who's trying to act like a so-called influencer, well, I know where I'm at, and I know where you're at. Posts like this don't do anything. Posts like this don't move the needle. Posts like this don't change minds. Posts like this do not win the day. Unless, of course, winning the day is you getting a couple more clicks and a couple more likes and, oh, look at me. You already won. What happened to being bold? What happened to leadership? What happened to strength? What happened to vigor? It's not here. It ain't there. It's not in a post on Twitter. Did nobody on your staff tell you this? I think that people have, in some ways, given the lieutenant governor a very hard time for very little reason. I think this whole idea about the AI video, I've still seen no proof of it. And I find it to be, well, very hard to believe. I find it to be, hey, let's smear a guy and let's have nothing really behind it. Well, you've got this woman saying so. With all due respect, I don't have any data. And so I look at that and say, this is a really ugly thing to do to a man. And then I take a look at what the man does to himself, and I say, this is a really ugly thing to do to Hoosiers. You won the gig. Where's the leadership? And if you're not going to lead, would you do me a favor and step aside so we can get a lieutenant governor who will actually work with the senators over the Senate in which he presides, and maybe get someone to see that there's a better way to do this than say no to redistricting. Your way guarantees failure, Lieutenant Governor Beckwith. And honestly, I just don't have any time for that crap. It's time for you to go. Matt Bear has traffic on the